Hey there, fellas. We all know being gay is the devil's only way of getting laid. And all the queers have not one good thing to say. But with scripture's aid, Jesus dislikes fags, and God hates all the gays. Hey there, my dudes. I am Laddie, and welcome to another video. So this video is a reacting video, which is reacting to the gay agenda takeover. Christians speak about the gay agenda and its takeover of society. And I found this video while I was just posting my Minecraft video, and it was in suggested. I was like, oh, this kind of sounds like a joke because all capitals, the gay agenda. That's probably a joke. They're probably joking like I was in my video, you know, being sarcastic about it. No, it was a serious video. And of course, everyone's entitled to their own views. I'm sorry, this video, you just have to see it to believe it. And we are going to need our trigger veils, our shook veils. Because I'm going to be shooketh in this video. We need to put the helmet on, we need to get the other, where's the trigger veil? Now let's get started. The world is being conditioned to hate Jesus Christ and anybody who represents him by using the gay agenda.
It's okay to be gay. In fact, it's lighthearted, entertaining, and blasphemous as well.
Look at it. It makes me so happy that I could cry. All these months of planning and it's finally here. Our perfect day.
Our home, our day, our way. The way we want it.
Our choice is to reflect who we are. It's everything that we ever wanted.
You're everything I ever wanted.
How you liking that wine, Father Michael?
Kidding? After a lifetime sipping the sacramental swill the church gets.
So, Father, as you know, David and I are getting married in a couple weeks.
I'm just gonna say it.
We would like you to marry us.
This isn't right. Ew, ew. No, look at it, look at it. Ew, ew. No, look at it, look at it. Ew, ew. Oh my gosh. Ew, ew.
When do we want equality? When do we want it now? When do we want equality?
We've been hearing about it for months, but the battle for marriage isn't about equality. By trampling on marriage, homosexual activists want to reshape the culture into something we won't even recognize. But this battle isn't about marriage. It's about driving the homosexual flag into yet another segment of society and then using it as a club to silence all dissent, to label anyone who disagrees as a hater.
You haters. Oh. Haters. I will dab on the wow. That's an old meme.
Just like someone visited the Family Research Council after the Southern Poverty Law Center slapped them with the hate group label.
In his backpack, the police found 50 rounds of ammunition and 15 Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Someone was hungry. I mean, also there was bullets, of course, but I mean, 60. I mean, it doesn't matter about it's America, so I wouldn't be surprised how much ammunition is, you know, in their bag. But Chick-fil-A, 16. Ooh. A moment on the lips, 10 million inches on the hips. Jesus Christ.
And Floyd Corkins had admitted that he intended to shoot and kill as many possible members of the staff of Family Research Council as he could. And he intended to smear the Chick-fil-A sandwiches in the faces of his victims.
Oh, they're trying to use the example of someone who was going to do a hate crime against Christians to show that all queers are crazy, that we're nuts. Ooh. It's not like, you know, there's ever been a higher... I mean, obviously there's hate crimes on both, people attacking people for their religion because it's against them. And I mean, of course that's happened. However, I mean, looking at history, the amount of, I mean, not playing a who's more oppressed game, but the amount of homophobia and hate crimes against gay people, hence the name faggots, because they used to get burnt on fires, and faggots are the twigs that you put in the fire, the kindling. Just a fact check here. The meaning of faggot as a bundle of sticks for burning with regard to burning at the stake is an unsubstantiated claim. The emergence of this slang came in the 20th century American English and is unrelated to the historical death penalties for homosexuality. The word faggot has been used in English since the late 16th century as an abusive term for women, particularly old women who were known as faggot gatherers, and it is also derived as a sense of something awkward to be carried, or fagging in British private schools in which younger boys perform potentially sexual duties for older boys, although faggot was never used in this context, only fag. What probably happened was some guy said the word faggot and was like, that's a good word to use for sissies, let's go with that. Because I'm a lazy bastard, I looked this all up on the first Wikipedia page I could find, but if you want to do more research and prove me wrong, feel free. You know, I think there's maybe a little bit of a, it's like hashtag not all Christians, but definitely some of you. Let's just continue.
Corkins had chosen his target, or multiple targets, by looking at the website of the Southern Poverty Law Center. And because they had designated Family Research Council as a quote-unquote anti-gay hate group, and placed us...
Also, oh my god, a storm just started outside. I don't know if you can hear the wind. A storm just started outside and I feel like God is actually taking out his wrath on me right now. Just as soon as I started watching this video, literally a storm started outside. Jesus Christ. Wait, that's blasphemy. Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ, go speak to your father and tell him to stop being such a doodly dooder. I'm kidding, because I know that God is a sacred thing, and these are only the radicals of religious people. This is not all religious people, because I have religious friends, and they are amazing people, and it makes sense to believe in a God, because there's some crazy shit that goes on in this world. I happen to be agnostic, so...
On their hate map, which is still on their website, that was how he chose us as a target.
Once marriage is redefined, that becomes a foundation for Christian and traditional beliefs to be marginalized. It's no longer speculation. When Massachusetts courts redefined marriage, K-12 homosexual indoctrination intensified, and parental rights became a thing of the past.
After the diversity book bag came home, we realized that the intention of the administrators and teachers was to affirm these relationships and gay marriage in the minds of children. When we went into the school, what we requested is parental notification when these issues are brought up by adults within the school, and the option to opt our child out of this type of indoctrination.
You wish to affirm homosexuality to our son. You're presenting that which is sin as though it is not to our son, and we cannot allow that.
To make a long story short, the accommodation they gave was to put me in handcuffs and send me to jail.
This battle isn't about marriage, it's about freedom.
They were willing to handcuff a father and send him to jail. It was a 6x8 cell, filthy. But, you know, I felt I didn't have a choice at that point.
You didn't have a choice. You didn't give the poor man a choice. So filthy. Filthy. Filthy, dark and small. Sounds like you've been in the closet before.
In order to fulfill my role and duty as a father.
If we care about our freedom, we had better use it now.
Fulfill my role and duty as a father. Was to put me in handcuffs and send me to jail.
Oh my god, what have I done? But how oppressed you must be. I'm actually very wet right now. Not like that. I'm actually moist. Actually, because of the... I'm gonna continue anyway.
If we care about our freedom, we had better use it now.
Help us warn the church.
Details tonight about a historic court ruling having to do with two volatile subjects, sex and religion.
If you look at the trend of the law, it has been towards greater protection of individual choices, to get the government out of homes and bedrooms, to prevent the majority from dictating the moral code that everyone must live by.
Yeah, I actually really agree. Like, I don't think the government, unless of course it's harming someone else, okay? So I feel like the government should, with laws and stuff, obviously harming that kind of stuff. However, if no one is being harmed, right, no one else, and it's all consensual and stuff, and it's not like underage and all this kind of stuff, because I understand how that's seen as harming, because it's hard to give consent under certain ages and all this kind of stuff. But when it comes to just two people, two adults, doesn't matter what sex they are or what gender they are or whatever they are, whether it's more than one person in a relationship, or more than two people in a relationship, or more than two people in the bedroom, I don't feel like the government has a place, really. And yes, people in the government can have their opinions, that's the point in the government, but I don't think the government or any population should decide what, like, other than the laws that make sense, like murder and burglary and not rape and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think that if it's consensual and it's all adults, that the government has a place in the bedroom. Sorry to get political, but let's continue.
Who oppose the Supreme Court's recent opinions on sodomy and gay marriage say they're not surprised either that they predicted this very turn of events.
Really excited about today. I'm excited that it's June, it's Pride Month, and I'm excited that we are bringing this assembly to the entire Glenview community.
It's the gay agenda because they're teaching it to kids, guys. They're teaching it to kids.
Anybody recognize this flag? Raise your hands. Wow. That is incredible.
All the people I'm going to show you in these pictures and talk about right now are gay or lesbian or bi. He's an African-American man.
Is he gay?
Yes.
Everything changes when same-sex marriage becomes legal. If it is legalized, then it must be taught as normal, acceptable, and moral behavior in every public school. Don't believe me? It's already happened in Massachusetts. That means public schools in every grade, even kindergarten, must teach your children to accept same-sex marriage.
Our son Jacob was going into kindergarten and he came home with a diversity book bag. I have the book right here. Who's in a Family? It introduces children to such things as Clifford and her dad's partner Henry.
Oh my God! Right, okay, there is, from videos I've done in the past, I know that there are mixed views on what to teach to kids at what age. I think that at any age, right, kids can be, you can give them an environment. You don't have to sit them down and say, oh, what about your sexuality? But possibly you could sit them down and make them comfortable, or at least show them the more diversity in cartoons, the possibility that there could be two parents of the same gender. There could be there could be homosexual parents or just homosexual people, you know. At least they don't have to sit the kid down and be like, what's your sexuality? Are you gay? They don't have to be like that. But if they just, you know, I understand possibly, I mean, you don't need to do it at a crazy young age, but at some point you should at least, even if it's just in a book, just saying, hey, these are two dads, these people are in a relationship. That isn't like a lot of people say, oh, it's perverted, trying to tell kids about that kind of stuff. It's the same as in a book when you speak about a heterosexual family. It just happens to be that the two parents in this family are homosexual, and you're not going into the sex part of it with children. You're not like going into, or you're just saying a possibility that two people of the same sex and gender could date, you know. And I don't see why they're thinking this book is crazy. I mean, I can see why, because of their beliefs and stuff, but and a lot of people will comment down below like, oh, you can't show this kind of stuff to kids. I don't care about, you know, they could be like, oh, I agree with gay rights, but still you shouldn't show this kind of stuff to kids, because their minds, they take a lot of stuff in and they may suddenly think they're gay. The thing is, what is the harm if a kid, right, thinks that they're gay? I mean, oh, what's that? They're going to kiss a boy and then realise they're straight? Or they're going to, like, if they're a teenager and they get told and they suddenly think they're gay, and they're going to, like, kiss another boy or get off with another boy, and then if they're a boy as well, or get off with another girl, and then, oh no, what have I done? I can never go back from this my entire life. Like, it's called experimenting, that's the point.
This is what they sent home with your 5-year-old?
That's correct, Tony.
What was your first reaction when you saw this?
When I saw the book, I was quite upset that they would couch this as diversity and include it in a diversity book bag and not give me notification.
Public schools in Fairfax County, Virginia are preparing to include gender identity in its curriculum for grades 7 through 12. The family life education lessons will include teachings on heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, and transgender identity.
Woo woo, repping the nation.
Joins us from our Washington bureau to talk more about this controversial subject. Andrea, thanks for joining us.
It's great to be with you. Thank you.
First of all, tell us about this curriculum and the motivation behind it.
Well, it's interesting. The school board voted earlier in May to add gender identity, but they've decided to add it against the will of many of the parents. And so now what we're dealing with is a vote on the family life education. Now, while we're talking specifically about Fairfax, I think it's important for people to understand this is happening across the country. So I may talk about Virginia, but listen carefully. In 8th grade, they will be discussing, let me just say, Bill Clinton's activity along with oral and anal. In 8th grade, and most people, and they've lowered it from 9th grade, or
weird.
Teaching 4th graders about the word incest.
Okay, yeah, I think that's gone a bit too far. When you start going into, you can teach kids about the idea of family life and that there could be same-sex parents. That's good. It's just teaching them the idea that it could be there. You know, not saying it has to be, idea that it could be. But then when you start going into sex, like I don't think anyone needs to bother until a bit later. But obviously sex ed is important, but just a bit later, I think.
How far does that go?
What is the difference between sexual orientation and sexual and gender identity?
Well, the difference between sexual orientation and gender identity is sexual orientation is who you have sex with and how you have sex. Gender.
I mean, I guess that's true. Sexual orientation, who you're sexually attracted to. But I guess there's more to sexual orientation, like some people like being attracted to like the person, I guess, like the gender part of it rather than how you have sex and stuff. I don't know.
Who you are, male, female, are you born male or female? Are you born nothing? And they want to break down those definitions so you're no longer male or female as God created us. You're one of 52, quote, genders, or one of 100 and something genders, depending on who you talk to. I don't even think it's a part of discussion in France or other European countries. It's just bizarre.
Yes, it is. What the fuck are you on about? We've been having a discussion about it over here as well. What closed-minded people are these?
They want to force this on the kids in Fairfax County when in fact it's not a part of the SOLs or the required education. Parents need to be very engaged. Parents need to know what is going on in their local communities. Read anything that's passed. Find out what they're teaching your kids under the guise of health, under the guise of PE or social studies or biology or family life. We're seeing just an onslaught. This thing is snowballing, and so we would just encourage you to protect your children and know what they're being taught.
Alert, alert, the queers are on the loose. This is an actual recording of the nuclear warning alarm sirens that they test at the naval bases in Portsmouth, where I live. How scary is that?
Last month, Nanaimo City Council passed a shockingly bigoted motion, a motion to ban Christians who they find, quote, divisive.
Oh, but it's okay to ban homosexuals from just about anything, or life in general. I don't agree with banning of either side. I feel like everyone should be a bit more tolerant of one another. You know, either side needs to not try and take away the rights of another side, but very hypocritical.
If the Washington National Cathedral's recent decision to celebrate same-sex marriages didn't make their stance on the LGBT community clear, then Reverend Gary Hall's statements during his Sunday sermon definitely should. Hall told congregants on Sunday that the church must, quote, have the courage to call homophobia and heterosexism what they are. a sin. Now, the Reverend also called the church's role in oppressing the LGBT community shameful.
In its wisdom, the church came to its senses over time and labeled both racism and sexism as sinful. And now we find ourselves at this last barrier about human identity. You can call that barrier homophobia. You can call that barrier heterosexism. But we must now have the courage to take the final step and to call homophobia and heterosexism what they are. They are sin. Homophobia is a sin. Heterosexism is a sin. Shaming people for whom they love is a sin. Shaming people because their gender identity does not fit neatly into your sense of what it should be is a sin.
Saints, prepare for greater persecution from everywhere. Fear not what they do, but fear the Most High God, whom can destroy soul and body in hell. Jesus absolutely loved the homosexuals, transgenders, etc. But just like the liars, the fornicators, murderers, we all repent and born again through Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. I'm going back to fucking kindergarten when I was in convent school. From flashbacks. I'm shooketh. Okay, well, I had to skip most of that because honestly they were just going on. I mean, I'll link the full video down below. Just before I end this video, well, I've already ended it, but I actually just found this on my computer. I got some things from the Bible, and I just wanted to read a few things out and just say, you know, it doesn't have to be the way, because the Bible, from what I remember from my childhood, what I've took away from it all about love and forgiveness and kindness and all this kind of stuff, and that's what I thought was nice about the Bible. But only in recent years I've been hearing all this bad shit, and it's weird to see the same book read a totally different way from person to person and group to group. It's totally weird. So there are so many different things in the Bible. For example, in Matthew 7, 1-29, judge not that you be not judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when there is a log in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. Colossians 3, 12-15. Put on then, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness and patience, bearing with one another, and, if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other. As the Lord has forgiven you, so you must also forgive. And above all these, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. And let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts too, which indeed you are called in one body, and be thankful. So that there is just speaking about love and being thankful and all this kind of stuff, and about being compassionate, kindness, humility, patience. And I know people will say, oh yeah, it's the patience to forgive others' sins, and be thankful for the body that you're in. And people may say, oh, trans people aren't thankful for the body they're in. I'm thankful for certain parts of the body. It's just God made me this way. If there's a God, he made me, so he must have made me this way. And no, it isn't Satan's like little paws haven't got on me. God made me this way, if there's a God. That's why I'm agnostic. I can't prove it, or I can't not prove it. But there are so many other things, like in the Corinthians 13, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. So it's all things. So, you know, that doesn't... Hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all offences. There we go. there's another one for you. Hatred stirs up strife. Love, if you just love, just let love be a thing. So, beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God, and whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. So stop hating, you haters. Jeez. This is on both sides. Everyone should just stop hating. And there's like one part of the Bible that says a man shall not lay with another man, that kind of stuff. And it also says that we shall not wear fancy clothes, like different types of, in the same thing it says we shall not wear different types of material in the same outfit and other things. And this part of the Bible was the part of the Bible that was banned after the sins of humanity. It was banned as a luxury, and so being gay was seen as a luxury, and it was put in this section of the book. This is just something I heard from a bud, but being gay was put in this section of the book, and it was what, you know, for our original sins, what was taken away from us and put as like a luxury. Being gay was a luxury, and Jesus died for our sins. So technically, we get those luxuries back. So technically, being gay is no longer a sin. Anyway, I don't know enough about the Bible, so you guys will probably trash me if you know more about the Bible than me. So, well, you know, it's just food for thought. Yeah, let's get back to the outro. Merry Christ Day, everyone, for Christmas. Bye. Well, that was that video. I'm glad we got through that. And thank you guys for watching. I hope I didn't offend anyone. Like, I just want to say, like, I know this is not all Christian people, because I know a lot of Christian people who are actually nice, but these are the radicals of them who feel like putting others' opinions down despite what their own book says about love and forgiveness and kindness and all this kind of jazz. But you know, anyway, thank you for watching this. 'Tis the season to be jolly, I guess, so this was having a bit of a laugh in this video. But yeah, thanks for being here. Like the video, comment anything, and subscribe to be part of the dudes in the coming years. So thank you very much. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Please subscribe, please subscribe. Da 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 da. Watch out, he is the spider laddie.